Welcome back to the Farming Sims channel, and today I'm on Griffin Indiana 19 for episode 8. Good morning, this is day 2 in game, and I've been working really hard to make today's episode is going to be a huge one. I can build my small farmyard on field 32, which I purchased last night. I was very busy last night, so I'll need to give you an update on where I'm at since last episode. I am on field 17 in the middle of a harvest contract, which is where I left my last save point. I am using the farmer's equipment on field 17 to help me get through this as quickly as possible. Is that catching nut? Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, he missed a line and I relined him back up, that's right. As I said, very busy last night in game. I decided to play through the night, and I did all of the available ploughing contracts that came up. And if I zoom back here, you'll see that most of them have been done. The only fields that need ploughing are the fields that haven't been harvested. So if I flick across to growth, you'll see 17, 11, 30 is sugar beets, 7, they're the ones that need ploughing. 23, 26, I think, yeah, 23 is up for harvest. But as you can see, I did a lot of work. I also did a heap of harvesting contracts. I didn't do any of the sugar beets or potatoes, obviously, because they take way too much time on those big fields down south. Oh, he's unloading automatically for me, and he will need to move around. So let me line him back up again, and okay, put a worker on there. We're very low on fuel here. Yeah, so we'll see if he will auto unload for us as well. Should be lined up okay, I think. Yeah. Here's something interesting I noticed last night. Crop destruction. Crop destruction on my own field, field 16. Is it possible that the crop destruction is only applying to my own field? I think during the night, in the dark, I cut across here. I don't recall doing it, but I might have cut across here while I was doing a contract. And therefore, if this worker drives over my own field here, I think he's going to do crop damage, crop destruction, which is why I was really careful down the other end a minute ago, because as you can see here, been very busy. one of the first things I'll need to put on my farm is a washer, because everything is filthy. I also need to do repairs. Let's have a look at that now. I can do repairs like this until I actually have my own repair. That header needs repairing, so that's really important. Otherwise, it will affect the uh, yield on the field if your header is not repaired. If the harvester needs repairing, that will affect the speed, but the header is the one that's more important. So just going back to the update, I did all of the ploughing contracts. I mentioned that. I'll put a screenshot up now of those contracts if you're interested in the detail. And I also mentioned that I did a whole heap of harvesting contracts, and I'll throw them up quickly now as well. And you can see there how much I have spent on Monday, day one. 458,000 for harvest income and 119,000 since midnight this morning. And that 119 is just from harvest contracts with the leftovers. And then the contract income was 230,000 on day one and 132,000 since midnight. So as you can see, I have played during the night, and I thought that would be a huge benefit for the farm being built today. So I've left all of the cultivating contracts, and I've also left all of the sowing contracts. But what's interesting with sowing contracts is that if the farmer puts up a sowing contract of a crop type that you do not want, you can accept the contract and then you can cancel the contract. And there's sort of 4 different outcomes depending on the map to that action of cancelling a sowing contract. So the first one is that it will just reappear in the contract list with the same crop. So if I cancelled this oats contract, some maps will just have this contract reappear and let me have another chance at it. The other type of the second type is that the contract will reappear, but it will have a different crop type. Instead of oats, it will reappear as wheat or some random crop type. I'm just noticing in the background that he did not continue. So I'll just move the truck out of the way. I don't know what's wrong with that worker. There you go. And that's really my favorite, is that it would just reappear with a different crop type, and you can keep cancelling the contract until a crop type appears that you want it to be. The third type is that it really just it disappears. It doesn't come back into the contract list after you cancel it. And the farmer just goes and plants himself that crop type. So in this case, if I cancelled field 18 sowing for oats, some maps it will not appear, and oats will be planted by Scott Nix, the owner of the field. And then the last type is similar to that, but it doesn't reappear in the list. But the owner of the field goes and plants himself a different crop, a random crop. You have no idea what it's going to be. And that type of situation is what happens on Griffin, Indiana. So why would you want to do any of these options? Well, depending on what map you're on, obviously, you would need to find out which one is set up for your map. And in looking at the map, for example, if field 9, which has been cultivated, no, it's been ploughed, I ploughed that, was going to come up as a contract for potatoes again. Now, I didn't harvest field 9 because it was potatoes. But what you can do is you can go through the contract list and find field 9, sowing contract, and it's currently barley. Now, I'm very happy with it to be barley. That's fine. I would have rathered a money crop. So barley's great if I own it because I can run straw. But under contract, I can't use the straw. So the cereal crops are not as valuable as they are if I own them. So it would be better, to be honest, if it was, say, sunflowers even, or canola, or soybeans. Those type of crops would be much better. But I don't want to cancel this one because on Griffin, Indiana, you only get one shot at it. You won't get another chance. Oh, there's my plows. Oh yes, I also bought plows for the other 2 tractors to help out with the ploughing contracts last night. That's how I got so many done. I actually had one on the 40 as well. Let's reline this back up. Well, actually, yeah, let's reline this back up because someone's going to have to come back. Or are both of them going to have to come back? Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll just park it here for now. Someone will have to come back. Yeah, so you only get one chance at it on Griffin, Indiana. So last night, one of the fields came up as a potatoes contract, and in this cycle, the next day cycle of harvesting, I still don't want to do any potatoes yet. It's not that I hate potatoes; they're not my favourite, but you can make a heap of money on them. But they're a lot of work, and I don't typically do them on day one. In fact, I'm really interested in doing my next map, which is more focused on potatoes, sugar beets, carrots, onions. A lot of the updated maps just recently over the last week and new maps that have come out, I've noticed there are a few of them that have got rice, and carrots and onions. So it's not that I don't like those crops. In fact, I'm very interested to do those maybe on my next map choice. But for day one on a map, I don't typically choose them. So that gives you the option of actually cancelling the contract and getting something else, something random. It did happen last night, and the potatoes disappeared from the list, and then the owner plant. Oh, I'm too close there, aren't I? And the owner planted a different crop. I think he planted sunflowers instead. So if you get a whole heap of potatoes or sugar beets or something like that, you can cancel some of those and or all of them, and maybe get something slightly different. Oh, look at that one line. Can I interrupt him? Let's try that again. Okay. No crop destruction. Turn the header on. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. And what's the John Deere doing? He will finish just there. Oh, wrong way. And we can unload him. The worker obviously jumped out. Let's have a quick look here at 82%. I've noticed on the map on Griffin, Indiana, that almost all harvesting contracts complete the field at 84%. And so if you've done all of the harvest, it's usually 84%, and the last 16% is the delivery. I'm not sure if that's constant on all maps now. Yeah, so 84% of contract complete is the actual field itself, and so you don't really want to complete by doing the section that is the delivery, because you don't actually have to deliver 100% to finish the contract, obviously, and you want the maximum left over for yourself. Okay, so we're almost done here. And as soon as this is finished and delivered, it's got all of that. Oh, he missed a blade. Another tip for early on in the game and you're running contracts, I could use this harvester for my own field 16, which is sitting there. It's also soy, and it's ready to harvest. Now you cannot use typically contract equipment on your own field, but you can use a tractor. So very early on, if you are lacking horsepower for a big tractor, what you can do is go and do, say, a ploughing contract or a cultivating contract. And you can use the tractor on your own field with your own plough or your own cultivator. You cannot use the contract's tools, but you can use their tractor. So a good tip if you're lacking horsepower, let's turn this off. If you're lacking horsepower at the start of the game and you need to plow or cultivate, and you don't have the money for a large tractor, then yeah, you just don't complete the contract after you plow his field. Don't complete the contract. Just leave the contract open, and then you can go and use your own plow and plow your field. And then when you complete the contract, the tractor goes back. Now the same thing can happen with harvesters. If you don't want to buy a harvester on day one of a game, you can go and do a harvest contract and only buy the header, and that way you just attach your own header onto the harvester, and then you can go and harvest your own field. Now that will only cost you, say, $89,000 for the header instead of $400,000 for a harvester, and that will let you get a large harvester. I should just quickly look at the price of soybeans, because now they're good. We're at the co-op and it's 2.6, so very good. Okay, so we will sell here. I was just thinking, I'm about to build a farmyard, and I would have the capacity to hold this if the price was not. Yeah, if the price was terrible. Almost hit the roof there. Yeah, it's still going into the trigger. Watch the roof. Okay, get out of there. Let's just park that there for now. And we want the truck. Oh, that's 100% full. Damn. There's still a little bit left in the... Didn't notice that. So you obviously, you don't want to ever finish a contract with anything left in the leased equipment. So you don't want anything left in their harvester or their truck, because it will disappear. That's fairly common knowledge though. Most people probably, there's contract complete and the cash is rolling in. Wow, 500,000. That's a huge improvement from last episode. So it's harvests like that is where I made all my money. So I can complete this now. Forestry machines. T-Rex. 600. Color change? Let's go with... Too much green, right? Let's go with something different. $9,700 to lease. Now, there isn't a lot of trees that I need to cut down. And I could have done it, and probably normally I would have just bought a stump grinder and a chainsaw, thrown the logs into this trailer here, maybe as a change the trailer back to a low capacity trailer and actually sell the logs. Especially seeing it, there's probably only about a dozen trees that I need to chop down. Okay, so here we are at field 32. This is what we're going to call home for a little while. Right, how many of these trees am I going to have problems with? Oh, that is not a cuttable tree. All of these were much easier. That's a floating tree a little bit. Oh no, that's because I did cut it. There we go. Here's a problem. It's, there we go. There might be some small pieces of wood on the ground here that I can't see because of the long grass. Let's just have another shot at this one. I mean, I don't really need this one gone. I was just thinking this would be my entry, my other entry in and out of here. Nope. It's not cuttable. Okay, no problem. We will leave. Anything else? Is that little tree, that little one there is not going to let me cut it, is it? No, I was pretty sure of it. That looks more like a decorative type tree than a... Okay, we'll put her in here for now because we will use it a little bit later, possibly. Okay, what can we do with this? So why I wanted this tree missing was I wanted a driveway through here. And it seems like it is all I think we'll start with painting. Let's paint it first. And the driveway through here. Make it one extra square. Yeah. Okay. No, we don't need sheds. We've already got a shed. What we do want is a silo. That's the main thing that we want on the farm. Sorry, just making sure it's straight. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, silos in, and it didn't damage the crop. So then the other thing I like to do is you don't actually have to put the multi-fruit one in if you don't want. You can save a little bit of money by putting $11,000 cheaper for 100,000 litres of standard crop, and then you can put the multi-fruit XL extension on, which gives you 1,000,000 litres. And it lets you squeeze this in right in next to it. We'll go with the ladder outwards, and we do want to square that up. Yeah, that looks pretty square. And now this can go right in beside it. Okay, let's go and have a look. So what we've got is 1.1 million litre silo. You can see the light is coming out of the extension there. But I didn't want to bring it out any further. I don't mind that the light comes through there like that. Now later on you can put a second extension on this side and make it 2 million litres. And if you're running a really big farm, 1,000,000 litres of potatoes waiting on a good price might be something you might want to do. Now the other thing I really need is a petrol. I need petrol up here. So I'm thinking, I guess it's not safe putting it near the house, but I don't think that will matter too much. So let's go here. Oh, we will need a wash station. We'll put one in here. Does this let me, does that tree have a clash on it? Yes, it does. close can I get to the fence? That'll do. Okay, I really like this fueling station. I'm not sure who it's by off the top of my head. I might put up a info on who are the mod creators of the mods that I'm using here in this episode. I might put it in the description, and I might even put it up on the screen. So right next to the house is obviously not the best idea, right? There we go. Alright, what about a multi-silo? Now, this one is a little broken. I'm sure it's everyone's favorite, unless you want to play more realistic. Can we get this in really tight there on the driveway? Or will that make the driveway... Yeah, that's coming out too far. On some maps you can place this fairly close. There we go. Okay, so I've got a fuel station here, or a fuel station. I'll put a second washer on this corner. That'll let me do basically anything in the shed then. And if there are headers parked there, I can wash there as well. Okay. We need a garage for repairs. I'll pick the tool trolley for this one. If I build a larger farm later on, which I suspect I will, do we have that type of driveway as a paint? Let's look. Yes, we do. Just going to extend it across to the house. arriving back to the farm with a brand new header. It is a Lizard Draper header, 45 foot, and it's on wheels. Much easier to transport around than the one that I was using before I either found that Lizard Draper header set. The Elmer trailer was what I used very early on in game. But once I discovered or this was released, I'm not sure which way around it happened, but you can label them and color them up to match the harvester that you're using. And basically they're the same as the in-game Case and New Holland. They're very similar to that, work the same way. That brings us to the end of the episode. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to take a break. I am having trouble with my larger equipment. It's not going to work on this small farm. There's still some over at the farm that we were borrowing for our first day, and I seem to have lost a plow. I bought a green plow that the deer was using. Was basically the same as this one here, same brand, just a different color. That one there was being used by the favorite 515C. It seems to have gone missing. It's like vanished. It was here, and now it's not. It is still in my list too, by the way. There's two of them. But the there's still some equipment up at the other shed. I've brought down everything else that we own. So there's just a plow that's missing. The cultivator that goes on the back of this is still up at the other shed, and the planter. And I will need to be using the planter because next episode we will be harvesting our own field here. No nitrogen on it, which is a bit of a shame, but that's okay. We've got barley ready to harvest, and field 16 is soy ready to harvest. We've also got field 7 that we could, after buying the header, I'm short on purchasing field 7 now. I was thinking about buying it. It is 231,000. 8's a little bit more expensive. These two are 200 each, 200 and 185. I was actually going to purchase field 15 this morning, which I calculated that I could afford it, but then I sold it and changed my mind and thought, no, let the owner of the field do what he wants with it, and I'll make a decision on it later. Because 14 and 15 will go well together. They'll also connect into 16. I could make that one large field. Even though the PDA kind of shows that 16 and 17 in real life seem to go together. 14 and 15 go together. Yeah, there's sort of some combinations of fields here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was a long one. I apologize for that. But we did get it done. And I've got a lot of stuff crammed into this small space. In the future, we will have a bigger farm. More than likely expanding all of field 32, to be honest. With some larger shed space and some animals. But For now, I'm very happy with this. I don't normally ask, but if you've liked it, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing where this series goes. Leave a comment if you've got some suggestions. Really appreciate it, guys. Brand new channel. I wouldn't mind some feedback. Would really help me out. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.